Hello, I'm Umbrenero, and welcome back to Umbrenero's Life. Today's video is my media journal recap for March 2026. It's been a hectic month, and my media journal did get somewhat neglected. I will openly admit it, but I'm trying to make it better. And this is how I'm going to try. So, like I do every month, I had already went and previously printed out my covers for books, movies, and games. And I decided we're going to start getting these put in right away. And this is real time. I did not speed up anything. I did not cut anything out. This is real time, how long it takes me to actually do some of these setups. And there was a little bit of a break to do a tiny amount of thinking. But you had to start somewhere. And while I was going through, one of the big changes that I decided last month was I was removing the genre area in all of my little logs because I haven't been using them. Didn't really want to keep something I'm not using, so I cut it out. And I decided to slightly change up how I was doing layouts for games and movies, just so that way they take up a little more space and aren't as tight like the book reviews are. Well, book ratings are, because I'm letting my mind run around, go free, and decide what it wants to do. So, it is what it is. But during the month, one of the things I was doing is when I was finishing a book or starting a book, I was writing it on a sticky note, tossing it in on the page it would somewhat end up on, and I went from there. And I decided this month, anything that is being carried over is going in the front of that section. Yes, it means I keep having to remake the exact same thing, especially for games. Like, I don't have the games I've been playing personally for myself in here because I haven't had time to play any of them this year. I have always been working on something content-wise, art-wise, or stuff with my dad. So, haven't had the time to really play games for myself. And I decided, nope, what I'm going to do is I'll still keep making those, but we're going to put them at the front and go from there. And as you can see, I have a game that has no start date because I just finished recording it yesterday. So I'm starting the new game on Thursday, so it hasn't officially started yet. So, gotta do what I gotta do. But going in, marking the things that will most likely be carried over. And I say most likely because while I was recording this video, I was actually listening to one of the books that is in here, and it's like, well, I'm not done with it, so I can't carry it over yet. But another one I was able to mark because I actually have the physical book to continue it, because the audiobook I was borrowing got returned and all of that fun stuff. So I have the physical book checked out to read. I'm hoping to actually take some time for myself at some point here and get some reading in. But right here is where I was making my decision of, I have this calendar spread at the start of the month. And I haven't been utilizing it as much as I probably should have. Well, I came up with a way to use it, and this was that little gap I was talking about at the beginning of how there's like a little break. Well, I went and grabbed a couple colors for that matched this theme throughout this entire journal. So yellow and tan. And I decided I'm going to mark in this calendar when this book was. And to make it easy on myself, I decided each row within this calendar would be one book. And sometimes I have stuff going like 4 or 5 books at once, which is actually very common for me. I decided the ones that are getting recognized here are ones that should be done. Well, in reality, are done in this month. And then I decided, all right, starting from here on, the ones that I have started, they will be here as well, and we're just going to continue. But while I was doing this, I didn't fully think it through of how to color code this, because I just kept alternating this. This is like an afterthought that I literally just had. I might, on the little book thing, write down a color for it. So that way, if I do over 5 books in a month, I can easily tell what's what. Heck, I might even bring back that thing I attempted in January with what days was I reading, and use that as a color tracker for, hey, this book, I was in the process of reading it from here to here. So it ended this day, but was started either before here or whatnot. So I might do something like that. And I'm actually going to write that down so I don't forget. So that might mean more colors are going to get brought into this journal, which I have more blues, I have more yellows, I have not many more tans. But I can bring some of those colors in and utilize them for where books are. Because then I could do a half a row, maybe even. And just keep it so that way it's consistent. Like, yes, it means every day putting in something. But then I'm remembering to touch my journal every day, which is something I have fallen behind on, not just this journal. Like, on here, I even went up to today because that was the book I was listening to. And then, of course, Penn decided it was done, and it's been a day. But I decided finally what I'm using for the calendar. And that's only going to be books. Because gaming-wise, I would need a separate thing completely for that, because the way I would track stuff there would be completely different. But it is what it is. But now, going forward, I have a plan. Like, could I, in a way, start shrinking some of these sections? I could, but I really don't know exactly. But we'll see. But threw in that one, and this is where I realized I was out of lines. And it's like maybe doing like a half of a line per color and having enough different colors would be a good thing. But I got that done and realized I forgot to put my top 3 in. So it was quickly jotting in here when a couple of these books were finished, and then it was adding my covers for my top 3, which is something I do like having. Like, yes, I did have a movie this month, but it wasn't in my top 3. So, easy decision. But another thing I'm adding with the calendar is due dates for stuff that is checked out from my public library, because I do not want to forget when stuff is due, and I'd rather just make sure it gets tracked, because maybe I'll come up with something for that. But I have ideas for how I want to improve the calendar, and there are ways to do that. And then the last thing I forgot to do was actually put in the rating for the game I finished and for the movie that I watched. Which, it is what it is, and I got to do some stuff though. And I have plans moving forward. So, thanks for watching, and if you could like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. Again, thank you for watching, and until next time, I am Umbrenero. Bye!